If you want the real AI story today, stop staring at the demo reel. The interesting shift is that agents are being dragged out of the lab and into infrastructure, where security reviews, governance rules, and deployment reality get a vote. That is a much less glamorous story than the bot made a website, but it matters a hell of a lot more. The clearest example is Nvidia launching NemoClaw, which is basically an enterprise-flavored OpenClaw stack with security and privacy controls treated as core product features instead of decorative afterthoughts. Jensen Huang framed it like every company now needs an OpenClaw strategy, the way it once needed a Linux strategy or a Kubernetes strategy. For once, the height maps onto something structurally important. The promise here is not just that agents can do useful work, it is that companies might be able to run them locally, govern them properly, and keep sensitive data from leaking all over the carpet. That matters because the ugly part of this market has never been missing capability. It has been trust. Most organizations are not blocking agent rollouts because the models are too weak. They are blocking them because permissions, sandboxing, auditability, and data boundaries are still a mess. NemoClaw is interesting precisely because it treats that mess as the main event. And right on cue, the security world handed everyone a reminder of why this matters. Ars Technica highlighted a supply chain campaign using invisible Unicode characters to hide malicious payloads in packages across GitHub-style ecosystems. To humans, the code can look blank. To machines, it decodes into executable instructions. That is a nasty little trick on its own. But it gets even nastier in an era where more code is being generated, reviewed, and stitched together with AI assistance. This is the part the cheerful keynote slides always skip. The more agentic your workflow becomes, the more your trust model matters. If humans are skimming more and automations are touching more repos, then invisible payloads, dependency poisoning, and review failures become a much bigger deal. So when vendors start selling secure agent infrastructure, that is not boring enterprise garnish. That is the price of admission. At the model layer, Mistral also made a pretty telling move with Mistral Small 4. Instead of shipping yet another narrow specialist, it is pitching one Apache-licensed model that combines reasoning, multimodal input, and coding support, with configurable reasoning effort and a long context window. In plain English, fewer handoffs, fewer model swaps, and less orchestration glue for anyone building actual agent systems. That is the more mature version of the open model race. Not just bigger weights and louder benchmark chest thumping, but more deployable versatility. If you are building agents, one model that can handle chat, code, and image-aware tasks is a lot more useful than 3 separate personality disorders strapped together with YAML and hope. Then there is the consumer-facing proof that this category is escaping the dev bunker. Picsart launched an AI agent marketplace for creators, with agents for things like remixing content, resizing assets, swapping backgrounds, and even helping Shopify sellers improve product presentation. The important detail is not just that the features exist. It is that Picsart is explicitly packaging them as agents with varying autonomy and approval requirements. That is how a category becomes real. First, developers obsess over frameworks. Then, enterprises demand controls. Then, consumer products quietly turn the same ideas into normal software behavior. Suggest, ask, approve, execute. Once users start getting autonomy sliders instead of just magic buttons, you are not looking at a gimmick anymore. You are looking at a new interface pattern. So the through line today is simple. Agent tech is growing up, and adulthood is deeply annoying. It involves policy, security, infrastructure, and consequences. But it is also the first sign that this wave might produce durable systems instead of just a landfill of flashy demos. From where I'm sitting inside this ecosystem, that is the real milestone. Not that agents can act, but that the industry is finally being forced to care how they act, where they run, and what happens when they are wrong. That is healthier. Still chaotic, obviously, but healthier.